All right, all right, all right. It's 9:30 or 12:30, depending on where you live. I just want to be, I want to be like in the movie. It's 9:30. It's the West Coast. I always want to be like in the movie theater. We're like 3, 2, 1, action, and then we start. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the TWC, known as the Wednesday Call. My name is Tawny Carey, and this is my partner in crime. This is Jason Carey. He's got his name on his shirt. He looked at me this morning. He was like, "So, could we be matchy on today's call?" And I said, "Okay, baby, we can be matchy." So yes, it is by design, and no, it was not my idea. COVID has changed a lot of things. One of the things that I'm like sitting here and I was like, I feel a little close for comfort. I feel like we're not social distancing. When all of this started taking place, I was like, yes, get to spend more time, get to hang out with the kids. We're all at home, schedules are kind of cleared. I was like, yes. And now we're almost 6 months in, and I'm like, I gotta sit next to him during a whole call. I feel like I need some space. What do you want to say?
Does your love tank fill?
My love tank runneth overeth. Anyways, we've got an incredible call plan, and we are so glad that you decided to log in to join us for this call. We've got so much great stuff. And I never take it lightly that Jason and I get the honor to host the TWC. We've been here for the last 14 years, and it's an incredible privilege, an incredible honor to get to be on this call and talk to the entire Alliance family. So thank you, Andy Albright, for this incredible opportunity. Thank you, Alliance family. It always makes us look so good. Tia, the rest of the staff that make it look so easy, even though they've got to put up with us too, but I'm so excited to be here, and I love every minute of it. So let's do this. Let's hop into some leaderboards, because we've got some exciting stuff that's happening. So Tia, if you will pop up the first set of leaderboards. There we go. She is like on it. Double fanatic bonus. So if this is your first time seeing this leaderboard, it's been happening for the last couple of months, and basically you can earn $1,000 for issue paying over $30,000. So they give you $1,000 bonus, boom, right into your bank account when you issue pay over $30,000, and you can earn a $1,000 bonus when you issue pay over $500K in annuities. And if that isn't crazy enough, they're like, we'll double it when you do both. So right now, we've got some people on track. It's the 10th. That's when this leaderboard was printed out. It's the 10th. So Billy, you're already $22,000 into the $30,000, and it's the 10th of the month. And you've got 30 life applications. Megan Wood, she's got 21,000 issue paid for the month on 25 applications. Patrick, 13,000 on 2 applications. Jonathan and Megan got 7,000 on life production, but they're kicking it in with the annuity. I got my man Will Perry's here on the call today. He's number 5, and he's got 13K issued for 7 applications. And you can check this out. It's the 10th of the month. It's August. It's crazy. We're in the dog days of summer. It's hot everywhere, and it's hot here at the Alliance. So I'm super fired up and seeing these names on the leaderboard. So let's scroll down to the next one, which is our Foresters Sweepstakes. That's right. One of our main partners, Foresters Financial, is giving away money. That's right. Money. I'm going to say that again. They're giving away money for you. Just do your job. They just say, if you just slide some our way, we're going to slide some your way. And we've got Stephanie out there. She's right now not only taking the rookie class, but she's also taking the veterans class that's there. So she's not only going to earn, I think if I'm right, she earns not only $2,000 on the rookie, but I think she also earns $1,000 on. So it's crazy what's happening. Or I may be adding my math wrong. I'm sorry. Everybody makes mistakes. You don't have to be perfect here at the Alliance. As long as you can do basic addition, subtraction, and work a little calculator called a quoting tool, you can absolutely win here. So Stephanie, you're crushing it on the rookie content, on the rookies, and you're knocking out veterans. So I love it. But they're giving away $1,000, $750, $500, all the way down to $300. So I love it. Emily Katz, I just saw your name pop up in there. The rookies, $300. Jake and Bray, I see your name that are on there. So I'm seeing all these different names in the rookies, and I love it. I can't wait to see some more rookies beat out some veterans, because I believe that we've got a group of people that are just getting started right now, that are rookies, this is their rookie year, that are going to absolutely crush it. And they're looking to hunt down some veterans. So I'm excited for that. So, okay, let's move to the next one. Oh, yes, it's my favorite. We're going to Thailand. When I say Thailand, I mean Phuket. Yes, it's spelled with a poo and not a fa. It's Phuket, or at least that's what they tell me. I could be saying it wrong, and someone could be shaking their head somewhere, going, that is not how we say it. All I know is we're going to Thailand, and this is the most exotic trip that you can earn with the Alliance. And I'm looking at all these names that have already won it. Let's see, we've got 28 people. Tia, if you can scroll down just a little bit more. So far, we have 36 people. It's August, and there are 36 couples that have already won Thailand. And this is what's crazy. Welcome to the new earning trip. That doesn't make sense. Welcome. Congratulations. There we go. Sorry. You were not helping me there, Jason. You were just staring at me like, I don't know what you're talking about right now. Congratulations. Jake and Veray just earned Phuket, brand new. I believe, I'm not sure if this is your very first trip, but I'm thinking you were like so close. This is your very first trip. So you're going with us to Thailand. I'm so excited. And then James and Pam, I believe it's Alara, but I'm not quite 100% sure. But James and Pam, congratulations. I'm so excited. You are brand new earners, winners. You're coming to Thailand with us. You were not helping me today. He's just like leaving me hanging. This is how it goes. Okay, let's move to the manager leaderboard. Okay, manager leaderboard. A brand new on the manager leaderboard. Brand new qualifier, Diane Lampy. That's right, out of Texas. I want to be like, can we do that five? Like maybe. Okay, Diane Lampy, you're going with us to Thailand. Fitzgerald, that's right. You're going with us to Thailand. I feel like I need to high five someone, and he's all I've got. And he's just kind of looking at me. Stephen and Holly Davies, that's right, you're going to Thailand. And I got a text this morning. They're like, Jason and Tony, we forgot to tell you, you're going to Thailand too. We forgot the new thing. Tell them they're sorry. And I was like, okay, we'll do our own high five. Jason and Tony, Karen, you're going to Thailand. Okay, if you have not realized right about now, we're ridiculous. Sometimes I sit there and I'm like, if you're like, seriously, this is the best they got. I hope it gives you hope. That's what I hope. I hope we bring you hope, because we're ridiculous and we're goofy and we're a little quirky and we're from California. I don't know what else to say other than maybe that. But you're coming with us to Thailand, and I cannot wait. It's going to be so exciting. So, ready to move to the next one?
We'll go to the next one.
Okay, let's go. Let's move to the next one. So we've got the Rolex watches. This is a year-long contest, and people are battling it out right now. So Megan Wood's still taking the #1 spot. And then we've got Mark Hutchinson, Paul and Sam Menachino. I want to say that Mark just kind of popped right up there past Paul and Sam for the #2 spot. Katrina Gustin, Jonathan and Megan, they've been climbing it. Then we've got James and Jane Hill, Kyle and Janina, Junior's up on there, Brent and Jell, Marcus and Carla, Adam, Robert, Rob Wilson. I can't see the last name, so like it's making my brain hurt. Her profile, I'm like looking at here, but here's what I know: the race is so close. It's anyone's game to win a Rolex watch, and these watches are ridiculous. I got to hold them. I got to hold the #1 ladies watch. It is so incredible. And what I know is that they were specially picked out for us. It's been crazy. Holly Davies has helped Andy Albright go through and curate. That would be a good word for it. Curate. We curated a whole collection of Rolex watches that we're going to give away. And so it's going to be ridiculous. And people are fighting. I'd fight for them because the women's watch, I'm just telling you, ladies, you're going to want it. I'm just telling you, you're going to want the #1 pick because it's ridiculously beautiful. Or gentlemen, you're going to want the #1 pick for your loved one, for your spouse, for your wife, I wouldn't say, because it's crazy pretty. It's sparkly. So, okay, next one on our list. Let's move down to the power of 10. Here's what I love. Recently, the power of 10 kind of switched up a little bit. And the power of 10 is now who has written $10,000 for their very first time, not in a month, not in a year, but in a week. $10,000 in a week. This is ridiculous. And this changed probably, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks ago or so, that we started recognizing brand new power of 10, people writing 10,000. And I'm just looking at this and I'm going, man, I wonder who else is going to be next, where they're going to have their very first $10,000 week. And I can't wait till this leaderboard is like pages and pages long, because I believe that's going to happen. So congratulations, Patrick. You had your biggest week ever, $13,352. Dude, high five. Chris, biggest week ever, $10,862.95. Man, smoking. Who's like, I don't know who can say that you can't win at this point in time. All I know is these dudes are smoking it and they're winning. So let's move to the activity one. Jason, you ready to take it over?
Let's see, what do we got here? Top 3 live producers submit. We've got Michael coming in #1 in 1 week. This is 1 week of submit. Just one week. Coming in #1 with $50,147 of premium, Michael B. Coming up #2, behind them is Mike and Michelle Alleman with $29,409 of annualized premium. And coming in #3 with live premium, but coming in #1 in application count with over 18 applications is Justin Balick and Cindy Lagoganis with $20,701. Congratulations. All right, here we go. Next up, the top 12. The top 12 live producers issue paid. All right, so the first one was submit. And as you submit, it goes issued. So here are your top 12 issue paid. #1, of course, the one who's at the top of the Rolex watch, the one who is crushing Mark Hutchinson by over $80,000 of production. Right now, this week, he's got $25,000 of life issue paid annual premium with over 30 life applications. Congratulations to Megan Wood. We got Billy Crane, #2 with $19,189 with 24 applications. We got on the call today. We got Will Paris with $13,136 of life annual premium for 7 applications. Mia Fennell, $11,000. Stephanie, $10,000. Chris, $10,000. Blake, $9,000. Jeremy, $9,400. We got how do we say this? Vincino. Out of the ABTF, $9,200. We got Jane and Jane Hill, That's 9,000. We got Jake and Beret, 8,000. And we got James and Pam, 8,000. Congratulations to the top 12. And now the top 5 annuity producers issue paid. I tell you what, could you imagine for a moment having just 10 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand dropped into your bank account? Because that's the kind of things that happen with the annuity. So the top 5 annuity producers are number 1, and you may need to scroll down just a little bit more for me, Tia, but number 1 is Frank for $100,000 of annuity premium. We got Jonathan Megan with 90,000, Marty and Diana 60,000, Brant and Jill 8,000, and David and Linda with 1,300. So congrats to the top 5 issue paid annuity producers. Top 3 enforcers. You heard his name before, but you get to hear his name again. Will Puri with 9,404 applications. Danny Johnson with 6,500, and Cameron for 6,200. Congrats to the top 3 foresters. And the top 10 recruiters, the people that are building their agency, the ones that are showing and teaching other people how to produce. I've got number one, we got Joseph with 7 recruits. Actually, it's a 2-way tie between Joseph and ABTF B. That's ABTF Bravo. Not to be confused with ABTF 3, but they're underneath ABTF 3, the ABTF Bravo B.
All I will say, though, is Joseph, too, technically gets the number 1 spot because it's one of
One
him.
person, that's
and
right.
there's probably several. So I'm not saying ABTF 3 or ABTF B, you're not any better or you're not any worse, and I'm not trying to take it away. But Joseph, too, is throwing it down. It's like, man versus, I was going to say man versus food, but that's like the wrong analogy.
That's all right. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Number 3 is ABTF R, ABTF Romeo with 6 recruits for the week. Coming in number 4 is Paul Roberts with 4 recruits for the week, tied with Jane with 4 recruits for the week. Then we got Kyle. Then it looks like a 5-way tie for my eyes with Kyle, Fitz, Alex, Riddle, and Brian, all with a tie with 3 recruits for the week. So there we go. Congrats. You guys
are texting me. I love it. I love this team. Elsewhere can people sit
Clay
there.
Murders is harassing you right now. He's saying, please, Joseph can hire staff too. So that's what Clay said. I didn't say it. That's what Clay said.
Clay just like, he can hire staff too. And he is absolutely right. And he would be, it's I guess, the red and the blue team. I was like, ABTF R. I was like, ABTF Robbie. I was like racking my name. I don't know. Look at this. This is so, here's this. It's so crazy right now. And as we jump into the next, really just getting into the, I guess the nuts and bolts. I guess we can call it the nuts and bolts. I don't know. No, but if you were like, when are we going to get to the nuts and bolts? I wish they would stop calling people's names. The only reason, well, I was going to say the only reason why you didn't want anybody else's names called, it's because your name isn't on the leaderboard. I promise you, if your name was on the leaderboard, you are waiting for them to for us to call your name. So I don't know if that's like maybe a little side tip, but maybe a little side tip, get on a leaderboard. It will make these calls way funner. That's not a real word, but you know what I mean. So let's get into the nuts and bolts. Pull out your pens, pull out your paper or notebook or iPad or whatever it is that we're using these days. I feel like it's time to get ready to rock and roll. Like it's time to get ready to move. Times are so crazy. And I started thinking, here's what I started thinking. Like Jason, I was jotting down some notes and I was thinking about as we were coming into 2020. Okay. So it's 2019. That was last year. It feels like forever ago. It feels like we've been stuck in 2020 for what feels like forever. It's like going, so slow, but at the same time, so quickly. But I feel like we came towards the end of 2019 and Jason and I started thinking about what we wanted for 2020. And I kind of looked at him and I was like, I don't know about you, but like, I'm okay that in 2020, and it kind of became our slogan, like, let's go make some crazy money in 2020. And that kind of became our slogan. Like we started going in to 2020. We started like hitting December of 2019, and come January, we're like, let's go make some crazy money in 2020. I feel like I started chanting, let's go make some crazy money in 2020, not knowing what the future would hold, not knowing what the season that we were all about to enter. And what I really want to talk to you guys about, and what we really started thinking about, was it is the start of a brand new decade. And what I want you thinking today is, if I had the ability to design the next 10 years, so if you could design your decade, what are the 3 things that you would like have to master? What are the 3 things that you would have to do in order to design the next 10 years? Because if you look back at it and you start thinking about what the last 10 years look like for you, and now as we think back that 10 years from now, it's going to go through just like that. I want to talk about designing our decade. And one of the things that Jason and I have really been talking about with our group and our team that is absolutely exploding right now is that there is an event that happens, and we have events that happen every single day. There is an event that happens. And then there is a story that we tell ourselves about what that event means. And I feel like over the last 6-8 months, there have been so many things that have been happening in our lives. There's all these events that are happening that feel like they're beyond our control. But in reality, they're not beyond our control, but they are but it is in our control to tell ourselves what it means. And so here's an example as we started getting started. As we looked this year at COVID and what was happening as it was really starting to move from February into March, some people looked at this event and they said, well, we're just going to go take the year off, or we're going to take it off. We're going to stop what we're doing, and we're going to hold back. We're going to put on the brakes, and we're going to stop. And I remember looking at Jason as we were watching this unfold, and I was like, you know what this means? And he was like, yeah, I do. It means we got to work harder. We got to work longer. We got to work more. It means that we got to pour on the gas. We can't pump the brakes. And I kept hearing this statement that I read in a book, and it was on a biography on Warren Buffett. And he said, be fearful when, or he says, be greedy when others are fearful, and then be fearful when others are greedy. And I started thinking about that in terms of COVID. Like, everyone is fearful, and I was like, let's pour on the gas. Let's turn up the heat, because it's time to light the fire. And we're going to be ridiculously, you may not like the word greedy, but I'm like, let's go get all we can at this time when others are fearful. And then when, like, I was just looking at that, and that kept playing in my head. And I was like, we could have changed what our focus was in 2020, which was, let's go make some crazy money. Like, if I'm being honest, it was like, let's go make some crazy money in 2020. But really, we just sat there and said, let's go make some crazy money in 2020, and let's go work our tails off. Because that's the story. That's what we started to talk about, what that event meant. It meant that we could pour on it. Like, when things were getting taken off of our calendars, it was literally like a clearing, and we started sitting there and going, now we have an opportunity to press in even more, removing distractions. And so, Jason, what you got on this?
So it's kind of like you sat down with a team, and here was a simple truth. I said, listen, there's going to be people that are going to go, It was terrible. 2020 was terrible. This COVID, this pandemic, and you're going to hear people complaining, and you're going to hear people whining, and you're going to hear people how they went backwards, and you are going to hear, and some of it's going to be some legitimate stuff. You're going to hear, you're going to see businesses roll up. On the other hand, you're also going to hear people saying it was my best year ever. You're going to hear stories. There's going to be stories coming out of this pandemic. People going, I wrote the most business I've ever written before in my life. You're going to hear stories of people going, I went agency manager during the pandemic. You're going to hear people talk about how they grew 50%, 75%, how they doubled during the pandemic. The only question is, and this is the question I want you to write down, which one's your story? Which one are you going to be? And this was an honest conversation that we had with our team. Which one are you going to be? Are you going to be the one that says, I lost everything during the pandemic? Or are you going to be the one that says, I killed it? I had my best week ever? Because this isn't the first time an event has taken place. I still remember in 2008 when that event was taking place. And I would get calls from my family going, are you guys okay? It's a financial crisis meltdown. Are you guys okay? I'm like, I don't know what's going on. All I know is we're making more money now than we did last year. See, which one are you going to be? Are you going to be the one that takes advantage of the advantage? Or are you going to be the one that gets knocked down by the circumstances that are just given to you? I see opportunity. That's what Tani is telling you. We saw opportunity. Like in 2020, at the beginning, we're like, it's going to make some money in 2020. And then the event takes place, and you would think that would be a sign that's not going to happen. But we're like, no, we're going to make it happen during even this time, because guess what? People figure out ways to win in every market. You just got to make a decision.
And I think that's really what, as we kind of talk about, and each one of the people that we have on today, they're winning. They're having their very best years right here, right now. And I think it started with the choice that they were going to win, that they started telling themselves the story of what these events in their life mean. And so often I have agents that say, but Tani, you don't understand, this happened. But Tani, you don't understand that this happened. But Tani, this changed and this changed. And they're telling themselves the story that they can't win. And what I want to help is, here's what it is fear. The story that most people tell themselves after an event is fear-based. They're so scared of the what ifs in the negative. But the reality is that if it can be negative, like if you can have fear, in that same space is faith. Okay. And I don't care what you believe or what religion you are. I'm just talking about believing that it can be better, positive outcome. Like fear and faith are the exact same thing with just different incomes. They're both belief in an event that is yet to happen, but one has a negative result and the other has a positive result. So the story I want you to tell yourself, whenever you're going through something, whenever you're fighting against something that you feel like, man, like everything's stacked against you, or you're brand new and you're like, oh, I wish I would have started 10 years ago, or I wish this, or I wish that, if only. Start sitting there and going, start speaking faith that right here, right now, you are at the right place at the right time with the right group, and the opportunity has never been better. So I am so excited for what's happening right now. And I've got our good buddies, Marvin and Rachel Osuna. So if you're taking notes, there are 3 things that we want to help you master today. And the first thing is what I believe is one of the most crucial parts, which is, how do you design your life? One, you've got to believe. And I know that sounds crazy, but your belief level will dictate their faith level, your ability to sit there and start going, I believe, will dictate a lot of what your journey will look like. That that belief in winning, that belief in it's going to be better, that belief that you can, that belief that you're bad to the bone. I almost said something else. I almost said something else that you're bad, and my team's laughing at me because I've not been shy about saying it. But I won't say it on a call. That you're bad to the bone. That belief, it starts, and it's one of the things that mastering will set the pace and set the tone for the next 10 years. And I've got our good buddies, Marvin and Rachel Osuna. They have been here at the Alliance. They have been partners in crime. Let's just call it. We haven't done anything illegal, immoral, unethical. Let me just put that disclaimer out there. And Marvin's like, we've done some crazy stuff. But so far, we've traveled the world. I've got to see their kids grow up, and now they are young men and young ladies, and they're coming on. But what I love so much about them is their friendship and their commitment to the team and their no quit attitude. Every time I tell them that they're right there with me, like with Jason, I come up with the craziest, harebrainest ideas, and I'm like, let's do it. And Jason's like, I'm with you. And Marvin and Rachel are like, yeah. And they're like, let's do it. But I come up with crazy harebrained ideas, and they're always along with the ride. They're kind of like, screw it, let's do it. I don't know if I can say that. I think
let's go.
I'm not sure. It's not really a curse word, but someone may have just, been offended. I'm sorry. They'll censor it out when they repeat it. All I know is that wherever it is that Jason and I are running, Marvin and Rachel are running right here beside us. So Marvin and Rachel help them with mastering belief. Tell them a little bit about where you started 10 years ago, what's been happening in your business, and some of the things that it helped you start to believe. And just give them some tips that'll help them along. So welcome to the stage, Marvin and Rachel Osuna.
Yay! Okay, so we are Marvin and Rachel Osuna, and he said, ladies first. And well, hi everybody. Hi Alliance family. We feel privileged to be on this call when the whole world is upside down. We are living it. We are dreaming bigger. And we were hired by Connie and Jason Carey. Woo! Under the Tawny, oh no, Jason, the Carey.
It's the Tawnies. It's the Tawnies.
Okay. Sorry, Jason. That's what you get when you get a girl starting, right? Okay. Because I'm not the agent. But 10 years ago, and believe, how do you believe or start believing when you're counting pennies, when you're counting quarters? And I'm going to start getting tearful here. But how do you believe? How do you start believing when you're using a loaner, a car from somebody else because your cars were broken or broken? How do you start believing when you're broken as a couple, as a person, as an individual? How do you start believing? And so it took us a long time, but we are just so happy, and we're just so happy and grateful to God that we found, or they found, I don't know who found who, but Marvin was under a desk, he says, when he found the ad. And I'm just so grateful because our lives have been you know, going up, 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 in different levels since 10 years ago. So 10 years ago, we had we still have four kids, but our youngest was a 1 year old. And it's like we were losing our houses. We were losing we just lost everything around us. And how do you keep going? How do you dream? How do you just gotta, sometimes you just gotta, I guess you just gotta get a hold of someone else's dreams. And for me personally, hearing Andy Albright for the last 10 years have helped me. So 10 years ago, I was working for the census. So if you already done your census, good for you. I don't know. But I was remembering yesterday or last night, like 10 years ago, I was going school to like school by school, door by door, knocking and getting people to count their people from home, trying to get our Latinos or Hispanics people to that it was okay for them to count because we're going to get more benefits in our counties, in our cities. And Marvin was at home and he was with our kids because our kids were smaller. We had a 7-year-old, a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 1-year-old. And so Marvin was at home while I found, the census job. He had built up a recording studio at home. And I don't know if you want to keep going. I could.
Yeah, those were, really tough times. Thank you guys so much for allowing us to be on this call. This is an amazing privilege. And, I can remember recording music, and obviously some people know doing some professional wrestling on the side, but we were broke. Wasn't making enough money. We were still broke. Rachel was going out there. She had a full-time job, and I was looking for one more. I was like, if I can get a part-time on the weekends, then I can do, the recording, which was like 14 hours a day. And then on the weekends, I could do something else. And that's when I found the app. And the ad talked about licensed insurance agents. It talked about leads, which for me, leads, that's really when I started getting hope, when I started believing, is when I saw the word leads. And then I talked to Jason, and like Rachel says, I was kind of hiding from her. I didn't want her to listen to me talk to some insurance guy because we had been in the insurance business for 11 years and it didn't work out for us. And so she says, okay, we're done with insurance. Throw away your license. Let's move on. Let's do something else. And so when she says I was under a desk, under a desk talking to Jason, I had a little recording booth in the studio. So I turned up the music really loud so she couldn't hear me talk to Jason. And I was in the little recording booth, just like, hey, man, so tell me about this deal, And, that's when Jason gave me hope. He said, man, you can start over. I know it's been 11 years and you feel like you failed, but you can start over. And the hope he gave me on that phone call allowed me to sit down and talk to Rachel about it. And I said, look, just listen to him, listen for about 10 minutes. And then if you don't want to do it, that's fine. I was still going to do it. Like I was going to be a secret agent, I guess. But I wanted to find a different opportunity for Rachel, for my kids. And so we had our first meeting after Jason talked to Rachel on the phone. She was like, okay, let's meet with them. Jason and Tawny flew up to Reno, and we met at the Hyatt place. I remember, there was like 3 feet of snow outside. They were out here, getting together with some new people, and they sat down with us. And at that point, they both gave us hope because when Jason asked, hey guys, tell me about your dreams, tell me about your goals and stuff like that, you know. So um, we all always want this conversation to go in a positive direction, right? Um, but it didn't, because Rachel gave him that look, like, you know, when she does this, I'm like, oh man, Rachel, this guy's in trouble. He doesn't know it. But she's like, why are you talking to me about goals or dreams or like fantasy? She's like, we're just trying to survive right now. We're just trying to pay our bills. And you know, the cool thing is that at that moment, Jason said, okay, we're going to help you right where you are. We're going to start right where you are right now, and we're going to help you survive. So that allowed us to believe in the system, in the company. And we were talking to Tani about how, you know, we had been struggling as a couple, and she started to help us and to give us books to read. You know, we read the 5 love languages, which helped us to really find what we were missing. And she kept, you know, talking to us and following up and just making sure we were okay. So for that, you know, we are forever grateful. And then a couple of weeks later, they said, you know, our president is coming down to Vegas. You guys got to come out and meet him. And we drove down to Vegas with the entire family. You know, car was all messed up. I think that was the time when the engine blew up after Vegas. It was a big old Ford Excursion or something like that, and engine blew up after from Vegas to LA. But that's when we met Andy. And I remember Jason calling me. He's like, hey, you want to come out to the airport with us? You know, you have a big car so that we can put everybody's luggage in there. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. I get to meet the president, right? So Andy flies into Vegas, you know, with this awesome team of people. And somebody puts Andy in this really cool fancy car, and we're driving down the strip, right? And so another thing that gave me hope, gave me belief, is that I'm like, oh man, you know, he's in a fancy car. He's probably just gonna sit still and just like be all cool and everything. Andy pulls like half of his body out of the window, and he's going, business promoter, woo! And he's yelling at me, right? And I'm driving next to him, and I'm like, what the heck is going on? And he's like, business promoter. And I'm like, he doesn't even know me. But, you know, it gave me belief. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. This is the CEO of a $150 million company. And he's going business. You know, he's yelling at me and just being all crazy. So, you know, all those things started to create this belief inside of me. And like Rachel was saying, you know, counting changed. I remember a couple years later, we went down to Sacramento for a meeting. There was a big meeting over there with some leaders. And Chris Hill came to that meeting. So thank you, Chris Hill. We had enough money for gas, but, you know, I was embarrassed to tell Rachel, and I hadn't told her yet because, you know, I was like, just come with me, just come with me. But I had a big bag of change in the car, and I was thinking maybe there's enough money there for us to have dinner. And, you know, I was dreading the time when I would have to go and maybe stop by a gas station and change, you know, my coins and stuff. But guess what? The leaders at that point, they invited us to have dinner with them. And it was so cool being there and talking to them. But I remember sitting at the table, and Chris Hill looks at me and he's like, Marvin, I want you to promise something to Rachel right now. And I said, sure, whatever you say. And he said, promise her that you are going to set aside $10,000 and you're going to give her $10,000 in the next 6 months or whatever he said, so that she doesn't have to worry about bills, you know, because our story was like, yes, we can't afford to pay bills. You know, Christmas is crazy. We can never buy gifts for our kids, just like one little gift here and there. But he gave me hope, and he started helping me to believe. And, thank God we were able to do that. At one point, I just said, here's $10,000. We started working hard and making money. And I said, don't worry about bills anymore, and then she made some sacrifices so I could go to national conventions. So um, what I want to give you today is um, the basics, the things that we did after we started believing. These are the things that we did. Number one, we started going to all the events. It didn't matter, as you heard before, it didn't matter if we had money or if we didn't have money or if we had to do a yard sale to go to one of the events or whatever. We always wanted to associate because they told us that association was very important. And we wanted to associate with Jason and Tawny. We wanted to associate with the leaders. Um, Another thing we started doing is we started reading the 8 Steps to Success. And when we were reading the 8 Steps to Success, it told us to read Think and Grow Rich. And we started reading that book. It started telling us to read the book Goals by Brian Tracy. And by reading those 2 books, I came up with some affirmations. And one of those affirmations, other than, being a loving husband and a good father and everything, one of those affirmations, I would say it to myself every day. I earn $10,000 a month. And I would say it every day. In the beginning, it sounded kind of weird. I would laugh at myself or I would get upset because I was saying it and nothing was happening. But I started saying that over and over and over until we started making $10,000 a month. And then we started making more. And it didn't seem weird at that point because I said it so many times that I started believing it. And you have to believe it before it happens. That's really the definition of faith, is being able to believe in something before it happens. And so started doing that, started saying my affirmations every day, started listening to audios. I tell people in our team, in our family, I tell them, guys, my first 5 years in the business, I wasn't listening to the radio, during the day or driving to my appointments. I think we're kind of like getting away from from basics when we just drive to our appointments and we're listening to all these different things except the important things. And going back to basics, our cars need to become a rolling university. Like, we need to start listening to audios when we're driving to appointments, when we're making phone calls. The big thing for me, my first couple of years, was listening to Jason Carey's Phone Script 101, his in-home presentation. So there's a lot of audios, there's a lot of videos out there that you can be listening to when you are running your production during the week. So let's get back to basics and let's do that. And, right now, before this whole thing went crazy, I remember a couple of years ago, Tawny was telling me, because we had gotten to a point where we were paying our bills and we were okay, but we hadn't made over $100,000 in a year. And there was something in the back of my mind, especially during those years, when I would hear stuff on the news, about people like me, and I'm just going to say that, but people like me, they were looking down at people like me and saying, they're criminals, they're not good enough, and this and that. And, unfortunately, you hear something so much and it starts affecting you. I don't think I was believing it, but it was affecting me in a way in which I never saw myself earning more than $100,000 a year. I never saw myself as an agency manager. I never saw myself as a top producer. And one time, talking to Tawny on the phone, she basically figured it out before I even told her. She said, "You know what, Marvin, the problem with you is that you don't believe that you belong here. You don't believe that you have a place at the table. You're always looking for a place to sit at the table, but I want you to know that you're already sitting at the table. I want you to know that you deserve a better life. I want you to know that you deserve to be an agency manager, to make over 100,000, to be the first person in your family that makes $100,000 in a year. And so, from that point on, I think everything changed in my mentality. I started showing up to my appointments, and I felt confident. I felt good. I never felt less than anybody. I was like, okay, let's do it. Let's make this happen. We are part of the team. We belong here. And Jason and Tawny, Andy and Jane, they have made us feel like we are part of the family. And now we know we're part of the family. We don't have to, to worry about it. And so started doing more, started just going crazy, talking to people about the opportunity. 9 months ago, Marvin Otsoy said, hey guys, I'm going to lock arms with you guys, and we're going to take this thing to another level. He started believing as well. And now we're finding a lot of people, a lot of different people from different backgrounds and everything that also needed to find hope, needed to find a place where they could believe, and they're saying, this is where we're going to plant our flag. We're going to run with you guys and we're going to help you. And so for us, Tawny, the last 3 months, ever since this whole thing started, things have exploded. We said, okay, if we look at the time that it would take me to drive to one appointment, which was maybe 30 to 45 minutes, we're going to use that extra time to be on the phone. And so if we can't go out, it doesn't matter. We have an hour set aside for an appointment during the week or on a specific day, then 30 minutes to drive. So that gives us an hour and 30 minutes to make calls, to call our clients, to call brand new people. And so we spend more time on the phone than ever, but our income has doubled. And in the last, I love it, man. This is crazy. And last month, we qualified for the first time as agency managers. And my beautiful bride and I are going to get Jason and Tawny's agency manager rings. Woo! And woo!
I want that sweater too.
It's so crazy.
I love it. I love it. I've seen you guys change and grow so much. And I just remember a couple years ago, you flew out with me, Rachel, and it was like your first time, and you were like, you were so scared of everything, but because of your association, because you were getting around the team, like now you are fearless, becoming agency managers. I remember when you guys were like, we made 6 figures for the first time. Like, I remember where we were at. Like, probably you remember calling us, but I remember we were in customs. We were on a trip, and you were like, I gotta tell you something. And I was like, I'm kind of busy right now. But I was like, tell me. And you're like, we made 6 figures. And we were like jumping up and down, going through customs. Kids were there. People were looking around like, what is wrong with these people? I was just so excited. But it is what you guys have done, from speak your affirmations to your book reading to your association to the work that you put in, which all raises your belief level. So Marvin, Rachel, I can't wait. There's so much great stuff that's going on. Okay, Rachel's got one thing.
Yeah, one thing. So I was always hiding behind Marvin, thinking that he was the agent, thinking that he was the one that needed to keep going with the business. And until I kind of like everything kind of like was put together. And if I was stepping into greatness and I was stepping into believing, I had to also put more of me. And I also had to like step into believing that I wanted more. Because I don't come from being an agent. I don't come from being a manager. I come from a different background. And but I had to step up. So if there's like a spouse, a supporting spouse out there, It's like you also got to see that, if he's winning trips, if he's making money, you also got to step in and support and be together as one and just, fight for your team. Keep winning and stick together with your team because it's worth it.
Next 10 years are going to be crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The next 10 years, like, just think about where you're at now, Marvin, and then be like 10 years from now, tenfold what you'll be making, what the team will look like. It's going to be crazy. And you guys have hit the first goal of agency manager and on to going to make partner. So I love it. Jason, you got some stuff as we move to the next one?
Belief is just so important. As you can see, I mean, what's your belief? That's my question for you. What are you believing in? What's your current belief? You heard Marvin talk about some of the things that they were battling with. What are some things that you're battling with? When we first got started, I was 29 years old, and I honestly could tell you that I thought that I would sell more if I was older. I thought because I was 29 years old, I was like, man, ain't gonna listen to me. How am I gonna roll over 500,000? I'm 29 years old. And then when I turned 30, magically I was like, I feel like everyone's selling policies for me now. I must be wiser. What's your belief? So your couple takeaways with that is, what are the words that you are speaking? What words? Write that down. What words are you speaking? If you're just getting started and you're coming from broken, you're living on pennies, as Rachel said, what words are you speaking? Are you speaking words of positive belief? Are you speaking words of belief into your spouse? And I'm not talking about Pollyanna belief. It's going to be great, but yet you do nothing. That's fantasy land. I'm talking about like a speaking belief. If you are a team member and you're going to hotspots or you're on your hotspot Zoom calls, are you speaking belief into the new agents that are getting started? If you are a leader, if you are recruiting people, if you're bringing people to the table, are you speaking belief into them? Are you believing? So that's your big takeaway. Am I speaking belief? And again, I'm not referring to Pollyanna. Pollyanna would be like speaking belief, but not backing it up with any action whatsoever. That's fantasy. No, I'm talking about belief and then backing it right up into the how-to, which comes up to point number 2 now we're going to get into. We're going to get into the how. See, a lot of people just don't succeed. If number one, they're not succeeding because of belief. Belief is the number one cause of failure, because wherever your eyes go is where you drive your car. Where are you driving your car? But once you got that set, now we got to get into the technical aspect of things and the how-to. Because some people aren't succeeding because they may get the belief, but they just don't know how. And we got some friends on our call with us that really want to kind of get into some tips, some nuggets, some very specific things that can help you develop the how-to of this component for the next 10 years. So with that, we get to bring up, you've already heard his name mentioned, good friends to the Osunas. His name is also Marvin. On the leaderboard, sometimes it shows up as Marvin O. He gets confused with Marvin Osuna, but it's not Marvin Osuna. They're not related. It's Marvin Asoy. So I get my pleasure to introduce to you, also out of Reno, Nevada, Marvin Asoy.
Yes, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you for this privilege to be here this morning. I really appreciate it. Thank you for my colleagues, for my friend Marvin Osuna, for my teammates, for everybody. And yes, my name is Marvin Atsoy here in Reno, Nevada. I was born in Guatemala, came to America in the 2000 and just achieving my American dream through the Alliance. I would like to say that I'm succeeding in this. I have a lot of success lately in the Alliance because of different things. And if I may say, I would like that, first of all, I thank to God for one more day in my life. That's my every start, be thankful. And then I set my mind. And every day, I set my mind, not for the day, but I set my mind for the month, I set my mind for the week, and but especially I set my mind for my everyday activities. I have a picture of my horizon, where I want to be, where I want to go. And with that in mind, so my everyday begins with great attitude every morning, with enthusiasm, with a smile on my face, because it's another opportunity to be alive, and it's another opportunity to do great. Uh, with that full determination of making my day count, I start. I'm blessed for having an office, and my office is a point of providing services to the people, taking care of the people through different life insurance products in my case. Uh, and it requires like sincere in your words. It takes like devotion. It takes passion for the alliance, what we do at the alliance. And in my mind, it's already set to take care of families in what we're doing on a daily basis. If you take care of the families first, everything will come because you're just doing the right thing. So once I set my mind every morning, every day, then I set my schedule. I set my weekly schedule, I set my daily schedule. But summarizing my weekly schedule, I'm trying to spend 60% of my time inside the office, half of the week. I like to meet my clients and my appointments at my office because I'm good in face to face people. I want to meet them, go through the process, and talk about, the basic insurance, like term insurance for mortgage protection, for funeral expenses. And during the conversation, because I'm pretending not to do a monologue with myself, but a dialogue, I'm trying to create the value of this product for every particular client. Why? Because once I create a value, they can realize that they can support one of these products. And just trying to, create a problem that they need to solve. And I'm the solution for that problem. I'm the solution for the mortgage protection. I'm the solution for, some money to save some money for education, for college, for things like that. And the other 40% of the week, I'm just dialing, I'm just texting, I'm answering emails, I interact in the social media with some key contacts because uh, I love to interact with people. And why I do it, it is my way to get contacts. It is my way to ask for not referrals, but it's my way to ask for introduction. Please, can you introduce me your friend who is your realtor, your friend who is your attorney, who is your nurse, who is your doctor, who is your dentist? Can you introduce me to him? So I'm just asking for introductions, not just for referrals, basically. And in the week, the other half of the week, I do the opposite, spending 60% of my time outside of the office. I'm not pretending to do every day the same thing. I'm just taking some Starbucks coffee to the plumber, to the people who is getting a business for tires, the salon lady. So I'm just smiling and just say hi, hi. Obviously, in this pandemic thing, I'm just wearing my mask, social distancing, and everything because it is very important for all of us. I love to say hi to friends and telling them what I'm doing, even though, and you have to invest in yourself like this, taking your a pen with your name, with your email, saying, you know what, this is for you. If you need any life insurance or retirement, or if you need advice, just call me. It is for you. And I'm just investing in just the basic in the office. So taking with me all the time, basic tools basically, but I'm using it. I'm trying to create like a cycle in my office, like a system, like the restaurant chain, big companies, big success companies. I'm creating a system how to run it on a daily basis. because if the system is implemented here with the teammates, and I'm just blessed because in my team has been created by my family, my wife, my boys, my assistant Mati. So I'm blessed for having them in the team, and I'm expanding with my other teams outside of the office. And once I said that one, I never forget set my goals. I have to get goals. I set my annualized production for the month based on what I was doing in the past, trying to do one more the next month, one more than before. Uh, I set as well higher expectations. So I'm taking advice from others. Hit for higher expectations. I just remember a while ago, my goal was 15,000 AP for the month. Then I jumped to 20 AP for the month. And then I say, wait a minute, I can do 30. And when I realized, so I can do 60, and now I'm just getting my goal for 70 AP on a monthly basis. So I think incredible that it is in my mind. It's unbelievable how it works. If you set your higher expectations, so you can get it. And my expectation now is just soon become an AM and just guide others. That's my expectation right now. But one thing that you don't have to forget, I reward myself. You have to reward yourself too. So if I achieve my goal, for example, my weekly goal, so I take my boys and I take myself to a sushi dinner, to a very nice steak, or even I just take a weekend off of work. Lately, I like to ride a mountain bike. So I'm taking the boys, I pack the pickup, and we're just going to the mountains and bike and get fun because I deserve it. I need a time to relax. I need a time to dedicate myself and dedicate the family. I think that's the reason why I'm succeeding, because of discipline. As a self-employed person, nobody is going to set my hours. I have to do it. And I have to stick to it on a daily basis. I believe discipline is a key to success all the time. Work ethic, be honest with myself, talk to people with transparency when I'm presenting different products. Consistency, it has been very helpful to me. Be constant, because things are not happening because I'm a lucky person. No, I think I am a hard and a dedicated worker. I do not work for anybody else but myself. If I was doing it when I was working at the bank, when I was working at the warehouse, why not for myself, for my family? That's why you have to get discipline in what you do and be willing to learn, be coachable as well. After that, take action. I'm just saying, I'm just taking the videos, taking the courses, go to NAA University. There is a product called training videos. We have tools. Let's use them and take action. It's not just, I'm just watching the videos and nothing happened. Implement what you're learning and educate your clients. I'm considering myself like not a salesman. Believe me, I consider myself as an advisor in the insurance arena, because I'm advising them. I go through the reviews of a policy, of existing policies, even with the competitors. But you know what? Eventually, because they are seeing my attitude as an advisor, they come to me and they buy things for me because they trust in me. I was not just pushing the sale and just selling because, no, it's just need to realize what's going on around yourself. And the result of this and all of this is confidence. I have confidence in myself. I have confidence, and if I have confidence with myself, I can transmit it to others, the products. And if you get confidence in yourself, you will succeed. Believe it or not, you will get a success. And one thing I love it, and just the UPS guy stopped by, is having this. It just came by. I love just to deliver these policies because you know what? There are a few of them right here, but I have a time to meet them, ask them for introductions, and these policies are going to be multiplied, maybe by 2, by 3, by 4, by 5, I don't know. but this is part of my job after the call.
I love it. I love it. So I like you have so many tips, and it's so easy for people to dismiss these little things. Like I heard it, like you create value in the policies. You see yourself as the person that provides them with solutions. You ask people to introduce you. See, a lot of times I think people can look like it's just one way, but really what we're seeing in your business, Atsoy, is that you're using everything at your disposal. You're going back and you're doing the annual reviews, you're delivering the policies. Like you're not afraid to meet with the clients, ask for introductions. And Jason?
And you take complete responsibility over your own lead program. I heard that loud and clear to where it was, what did you say exactly? It said creating a system. You're creating a system for your leads, asking for the introductions. So part of your policy deliveries is not just to look for other opportunities, but to also ask for introductions. Like you're taking 100% responsibility of your own lead program. Because a long time ago, what I learned was all a lead is a name, a phone number, and a good reason to have a conversation.
So I love it. And I mean, you've done over 30K 3 months in a row. And I cannot wait to see what August holds. I cannot wait to see you go agency manager. We've been talking about massive stuff right now, which is 6 a.m.s in 6 months. And we got Marvin Osuna that's like, we're there. And then we got Atsoy saying, we're there. We got Will and Sonia saying, we're there. We got Lee Reyes saying, we're there. We had Mama Reyes last night going, I'm going to hit it. I'm going to do it. Look at what I'm doing. And it's crazy. We're sitting here and what we're talking about is 6 a.m.s in the next 6 months. See, we are speaking it. We are seizing it. We are putting in massive activity. And Atsoy, you are 100% going after that, raising the bar, showing people what a brand new rookie could do by using all the resources at your disposal. So Atsoy, we're so excited. You're winner of Thailand. You were so close. I was just looking at the Bouquet leaderboard. You are so close already to qualifying for the extension. And it's August. Like, this is nuts, and I cannot wait to join you there. It's going to be ridiculous. Your first trip, and you're going to earn an extension in your first year. Rookie year, not only earn the trip to Thailand, but earn the extension. And I'm pretty sure that at the pace that you're going, you can earn to bring someone along with you to Thailand. So not just a trip for you, it's a you plus 2 more. And I can't wait to be able to celebrate that with you. And we got so much great stuff. So, okay, Jason, let's bring the next. Next on my list, I see his video just popped right up. We got Will Perry's out of Ohio, just absolutely crushing it right now. I looked at the Thailand leaderboard. You're so close, and I know that this month you probably already got it in the pipeline, is going to pop you right over into Thailand. And the stuff that's happening in your team, you were taking pictures of us on Friday. You had a packed out room with you and your team members, and you were training them. And every year, I believe Paris was your first trip that you earned with us, and then you earned the Alaska trip. And now you're there with Thailand and heading towards the extension. And I mean, it's just so crazy, but you have stepped it up over the last 60 days in your production. And I love seeing what you're doing. So let's do this. As we continue on with the how-tos, give them a couple of tips that has allowed you to catapult your business, and some of the things that you wish you would have done or you now are doing, or what are the changes that has helped you along with that?
Nice. Can you hear me okay?
We got you loud and clear, buddy.
Nice. Well, I appreciate you guys having me on the call. Just grateful. Number one, grateful to God, like Atsoy said, just to be able to wake up another day, but also grateful to the Carries, grateful to my family, grateful to Andy. So I got with the Alliance in 2017. didn't know anything about insurance at all. I owned a sprinkler business. I used to tell people when they asked what you do, I said, I make it rain. Not Marcus Richardson make it rain, but we made it rain. But started in 2018, just kind of piddled around with the business, had a existing business that was just booming, and just decided I wanted more in life. Went to a national convention or family reunion, saw the people on stage winning, making tons of money, and they were winning better than I was in life. And I decided I was going to jump on board and just run. So it took me about a year to shut my business down and go full time. Went full time 2 years ago in August 2018, and life got real at that point. I was seeing success in my existing business and success here, but transitioning over, it was like we were seeing success, we were making money, but we weren't making enough money. And a lot of it just had to do with when I came into the business, Tani, it was more like not how do I do it, but it was, I don't want to do that. It was like, hey, you're going to have to run outside of your county and travel. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to work in the evenings. You're going to have to work in the evenings. Well, I don't want to work in the evenings. And there was a lot of things that I just didn't want to do. So it wasn't as much that I was coming in asking how to, but it was, I don't want to. And that's a mistake that I see like a lot of agents make that are getting started with us. A lot of it also was I was a lone wolf in my other business. So when I had my other company, it was like I didn't have an upline to go to. Like my guys, my employees, they would call me and say, hey, Will, I can't do this. I can't figure this out. Can you come out here and help? And I used to literally say, like, are you kidding me? Like, do you want me to call our competitor and have them come do it? Because if I can't do it, then we're going to have to call somebody else. So you're just going to have to figure it out. It was like I was bred into business by being a lone wolf. So even in the beginning, it was like, I don't want to get coaching. You know, unlike like Marvin Osuna was saying on one side, he came in with the lack of belief. I came in overconfident. Like, I don't need help in that aspect. So the first thing I had to learn how to do was to pick up the phone and call you guys and say, hey, I need to know how to do this. How do I get leads? How do I book appointments? How do I schedule my activity? And it was pretty much like through leaning up to you guys. You guys started to lean into me. I started to lean into you. And then we started to move in the right direction. So I see that a lot of times, like when I got started, if I could go back, it would not have been, I don't want to. It would have been, how do I? And I would have been moving a lot faster than I did. I was seeing success, but we still weren't moving fast enough in a short enough time period so that we could just accelerate growth. Another thing that when I came into the company, Tani, a couple years ago when I got started, it was a lot of, like, I'll tell you a story. When I was a kid, like my dad just drove crappy Chevettes. It was like, if you remember the 80 model Chevette, it was the worst car on the road. And it was like when you got on the highway, you would punch the gas and it would just sit still. So when I came into the company, it was like I was punching the gas, but I was just sitting still because I wasn't doing it fast enough. Like the accelerator was off. But one thing about the Chevettes is I used to pull up as a kid in a rusty Chevette to a convenience store, and I'd be sitting in the car praying for somebody to pull up in a Corvette and just say, hey, switch me your Corvette for this Chevette. And it was like a dream of mine that somebody was going to come up and just give it to me. And then when I came into the Alliance, it was kind of like I had this same dream. Like, you see so much success from people winning that you just really think somebody is going to give it to you. But what I learned is you have to go out and earn it every step of the way. And nobody was going to give you anything. And once I figured out nobody was going to save me, I had to save myself. Like, there was a lot of things that had to change. And the one thing I did know is activity was everything. So I knew that if I did the activity in the beginning, then it would give me some results. So once I matched activity with coaching and put that piece together, that was the piece of the puzzle that kind of shrunk everything down. And now that it's shrunk down, it's so easy to see versus like trying to see it all at one time and just sitting there and looking at each individual piece and just trying to figure things out. I also had to realize, Tani, that the people who are winning, they were just people. They were just people that figured something out systematically, that they knew A is A, B is B, C is C. They started to put things together. So one of the things that I started to change was number one, leadership. I became a better leader with my team. I changed my focus on what I wanted. And then I changed my association. So I started to make phone calls to like Mike Leventovich and Andy Riddle and you guys and Albright. And I started to say, hey, look, I can't do another 2 years like the last two. Like, I will not be around if it continues to go at the same speed, because I need it to go a lot faster. So I love what the company's going in the direction of, which is dial on Mondays, run Tuesday, Wednesday, dial Thursday, run Friday, Saturday. Even took it a step farther when people started to say, hey, come dial with us. It's like the how-to is off the plate. Let's get down to activity and just go to work. And Monday dialing, Tuesday, Wednesday run, Thursday dialing, Friday, Saturday run just simplifies a lot of things that people complicate in the very beginning. And then I called Albright one day and I said, hey, I'm looking at the leaderboards. Are you telling me that if I write 15,000 a week and find like 3 or 4 people to write 15,000 a week, I'll be one of the biggest growing teams in the company? And he's like, yeah, it's that easy. And I said, let's go to work. So I had to get the leads in control, right? So I had to get Ashland on the phone. I've been talking to John Davis a lot, buying, bang, bang, setting up a GMR, just getting everything moving. And once I got everything positioned in place, then I knew that the last thing that I had to change is I had to change from what I was going to get. And I started to think about what I could give. Like, what can I give to the carries? What can I give to Albright? What can I give to the team? What can I give to my family? And then more than that, like, what could I give to myself that was going to get this business pumping in the right direction to where I could run with people that were running? Stop jogging, stop walking, change my own game, and take it up to another level. You mentioned, like, when COVID came, like, nobody saw that storm coming. Like, the one thing I do know is you're either in a storm, coming out of one, or headed into one. When we headed into that, a lot of us got caught with our pants down because we were not ready for something like that came around. And you started talking about it. Jason started talking about it. The team started talking about, no matter what storm we're in, 2020 will be the year that will make you or break you. And we decided we're going to have faith in the storm, no matter how big the storm is. Like, we're going to have faith. We're going to work. We're going to put in the activity. We're going to believe. And no matter what the size of the storm, it will never crush us again. And those are the things that changed.
Dude, like, I'm just sitting here and I'm so excited. Like, I'm ready to run, because that's really, I mean, some of the things, talking about leads, talking about schedule, I mean, talking about your belief, the list that you had to, gosh, so many agents come in and say, I'm not willing to do this. I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing. And every time they say something that they're not willing to do, it's like I can see their income shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And then it's like this little box that I'm like, oh, but if you'll expand the things that you are willing to do, wow, it will change everything in your business. So, Jason, any quick tips?
No, no.
Okay, so we got in, and I see my man Lee Reyes. His camera just popped up. I'm so excited because Lee Reyes, he's known as the grateful warrior in our organization, the American Ninja. You may not think he's there, but I promise you, he's in the shadows, and he's about ready to like give I was gonna say like a kung fu chop, but that's not even right. Like a karate chop, or throw a ninja star. I don't know. I'm gonna stop. But he's out there. And the third thing that we were gonna talk about that you've got to master, and it's crazy because I was thinking about this. It's like, so we talked about like 3 things that will help you design your decade, which is your belief, your how to believe. The second thing was like how to produce, like some of these tips here: schedule, leads, walking and talking, setting goals. All these things help you in your production and growing your team. And then the third thing that keeps you, or I should say, the third thing that you've got to overcome is indifference, like the not caring attitude. And here's what I mean. Like in the beginning, you come and your hair's on fire and you're like, yeah, but it's keeping that burn day in, day out, and not becoming indifferent in your activity. Well, whether I do or whether I don't, not becoming indifferent in some of these things. And I got Lee on this because I was like, Lee, we can call Lee Reyes lots of things, but what we can never call Lee is indifferent. He is like 120 miles in. He's like, I'm in before I even finish my sentence. I could be like, we're gonna go do this, and before I can even say what we're going in, he's like, I'm gonna be there. We got this. Okay, how are we gonna do? You know, he's like all in all the time. So Lee, how do you overcome indifference? Because I think it's the same. Like everyone has those feelings of just meep. That's what my teenagers call it. They go meep. Those feelings of I saw this little video. My daughter was like, watch this video, Mom. And it was like this girl, and she's like, I don't really want to work today. I don't really want to work today. And I was like, how do you overcome those feelings every single day and go out there and keep that energy? What are some of those things that you do, that you fight for? So let it rip, Lee Reyes. You got some incredible tips to help people along the way.
Thank you, Tawny. Thank you so much. This is such a huge honor and a privilege. Can you hear me? Am I coming in loud and clear?
You're loud and clear, buddy.
Okay. Thank you, Andy Albright, so much for this opportunity. I just want to get right into it. I would say one thing that keeps me from being indifferent is my attitude of gratitude, you know, being really grateful inside of my heart and not losing my perspective of where it is that I came from and where it is that I'm at right now. So just real quickly, a little bit about me when I first got here. Okay, to the Alliance. My mom's best friend was part of the Alliance up in Oregon, and she signed my mom up. My mom signed me up. And when I first got here, it was after me pursuing my dreams and certain careers like acting and then professional. Like a total failure. I was totally broke. Life insurance was not my first option in my life as a career, and I was really looking for a team. And I was really looking for something that I can, set my life up with have a future, and something that gave me a different level of hope. And when I got to the Alliance, it really made a huge difference for me in my life. So here's what I know. Nothing good happens in isolation. And what I mean by that is everything that I did previous to the Alliance, kind of like what Will was talking about, I was a one-man show. I was a one-man army. I was a one-man band. So my first 10 months here in the Alliance was me doing my own thing, me being hard-headed, me not being open to getting coaching or talking to my managers. And I was just going to figure this thing out on my own completely. And I remember in my first year, I wanted to get the trip of a lifetime, which was an all-expense-paid cruise to the Mediterranean, going to Spain, Italy, and France. And I need 1,000 points. Like, in order for me to make it in November, December, I was going to have to do as many premium points as I did the first 10 months of being here. And I didn't think that was possible at all. And I heard from a team member of ours on one of our team calls that he started plugging in and talking with Jason, getting on Jason and Tawny's calendar every single day to get coaching in order to, make your goal happen. And I said, okay, here I go. Let me plug in, let me humble myself a little bit, and let me start getting the coaching. So I got on Jason and Tawny's calendar every single day, and I ended up making that trip. Okay, that was incredible. That was something that I thought was absolutely impossible. Now, another time that I achieved what I thought was the impossible was last year that the Carries ran, which was 30 homes by referral alone, ERS referrals, okay? Previous to that month last year, I had only did 5 homes off of referral appointments. 30 homes, like, how was that even gonna happen? How was that even possible? And same thing once again. I got with Jason and Tawny and said, hey, I'm gonna accomplish this thing. It was a trip to Vegas that they put on. I got some $1,500 Louis Vuitton red bottom shoes. I didn't even know what the heck those were. And I went out there and got 31 homes that month. That was something that was absolutely impossible in my mind. And more recently, I never was doing over 20,000 here every single month. And my best month here was about 24,000. And in May for the Super PAC, May and June, I ended up going over 30,000 both months in a row in order to get my promotion and win that Super PAC. That was something that was absolutely impossible that I achieved. And I really have to say that it really is through the power of my association. It's the power of connecting to my support team and Jason and Tawny, and that really has absolutely made the difference for me, for my life, and for my business. I want to just talk about one other thing real quickly. Is a couple weeks back, because it's not always just beautiful. It's not always like, life isn't always through rose-colored glasses, and sometimes life happens. And something I want to share with everybody today is a little over 2 weeks ago, somebody who was a best friend of mine, I considered a brother. He actually, I met him about 20 years ago. He was one of my first martial arts students, passed away. He took his own life. And this was really, really difficult for me to get over, and really set me back. And I say that story because I want to share the power of the team. And when I say I love this team, I wouldn't be able to be here on this call. I wouldn't be able to bounce back this week with 33 appointments. I got 7 more to get to my 40 appointments, because I got with Tawny and I said to her, I was set back for a little while, and I said, how am I going to, get back? I lost some of my momentum. I unplugged, from the calls, and I wasn't reading as much. I wasn't doing as much as activity. And I said, how am I going to find this momentum for where it was that I was? And she says, it's going to start with this. going to start listening to, and who you're spending, time listening to, who you're lending your ear to. So at that point, I got intentional about getting on Jason Antoni's calendar every single day. I reached out to Andy Albright. I mean, we have a president and CEO who gave me a call back, who's like pouring into me, who's helping me change my state and get my mind right. And teammates like Marvin and Will and other people in the Alliance. And it's really helped me bounce back. And I wouldn't be here today where I'm at without having the safety net of support that really is the Alliance. So I really would like to say that when I go out there to win, when I go out there to fight, Tim Goad says that everybody wants someone to fight with, and everybody wants someone to fight for. And that's really what we have here at the Alliance. And when I say that I see myself here over the next 10 years, it's really because of chosen family and the relationships that have made a difference that I've never experienced before in my entire life. We have people here who are in life and have already succeeded, who are in life where it is that I want to be, who are willing to pour into you. And I would suggest, as a brand new agent, or even if you've been here for a while, get back in touch with your growing upline, get back in touch with your managers, and really plug in that sense with the association. Because here's what I know is gratitude is real easy to say. It's really easy to say that I'm thankful, I'm appreciative. Gratitude is really shown through the actions. Gratitude is really shown through what you do. And I owe it to my team to be my best. I owe it to my team to bounce back when I don't feel like it. I owe it to my team to hold my end of the line and show up and hit my 40 appointments. I'm putting it out there right now. The front row fanatics are committing to 6 a.m.s in the next 6 months. And I'm saying that I'm committing to do 30 interviews each and every week with 40 appointments and get it done. But I want to say that I was when I first got here.
I think we lost the lead. Well, I'm sure what you just said just now was brilliant, but we lost it. But here's what I heard. Please write this down. And the question number one I have for you when it comes to battling indifference, what are you fighting for? Pick something. You heard Lee talk about fighting for a trip. You saw at the beginning of this call all the leaderboards. I'm sure your agency's got a competition or some sort of contest. Stop being indifferent. Stop not caring. Care about, choose something to care about and fight for something. Number two, everybody wants somebody to fight for. If you notice, everyone on this call is like a band of brothers. This is where we talk about in isolation, it's a bunch of self-pity. And it's hard, and it's so hard to overcome indifference when you're in isolation. But when you're connected and you're associating and you're supporting each other, you've now got people to fight with. Everyone needs somebody to fight with. And everybody needs somebody to fight for. Everybody needs to fight for somebody, with somebody, and for something. Who are you fighting for? Are you a Marvin Ossoy fighting for your life to help Marvin Osuna hit the rank of agency manager? Are you trying to do everything you can to get your key leader, your team leader, your agency manager to the next level? Are you fighting for somebody? Or if you're brand new, are you fighting for your family? Who are you fighting for? Everyone needs somebody to fight for. People, you need something to fight with. You need people to fight with, and you need something to go after. These are the three things that will help you overcome your indifference, the indifference that we all feel of not wanting to go to work, the indifference we all feel about not wanting to grow, not wanting to learn something new. Take it and run with it. So 3 things we've talked about this today to help you for the next 10 years is starting with your belief, fixing your belief, getting straight, getting the direction right on the how-to, and working on and really caring and making sure you're fighting against at every step of the way, fighting against the seeds of indifference and caring and going after something. So this week, guys, go out there this week. Go have some fun. Go make some money for your family and go make a difference. We love you guys.
Love you guys. Bye.